Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with ban restricted announcement. Hot off the presses, Wizards actually got off their butts and released it this morning as opposed to waiting till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Historic, I'll cover that in the video for Historic. We are here for Modern and Pioneer. Modern, Arkham's Astrolabe banned. Called it. I did think that there was certainly warrant for consideration for other cards, whether it be Mystic Sanctuary, whether it be Uro. I do think just banning Arkham's Astrolabe is the right thing. We'll get into that discussion, their discussion on that in a bit. Pioneer Oath of Nissa is unbanned. I think there's a lot of people that are disappointed that Inverter is not getting banned in the format. So Pioneer might continue to suffer. Let's get into Wizards' reasoning on... That's a very long explanation for that. So, Modern. Over the past several months of Modern's metagame, we have seen a rise in popularity and win rate of multiple-colored using Arkham's Astrolabe, with some variants approaching 55% of non-mirror match win percentages. These decks take on several different forms. As a result, Arkham's Astrolabe has become one of the most played cards in Modern. There's nothing intrinsically bad with multiple-colored good stuff decks having a place in the format. It's counterbalanced by the concessions in their mana bases, often through lands that interplay tapped, cost life, or involve some other deck building restriction. In other words, you need to pay life to cash crap, or be vulnerable to stuff. Arkham's Astrolabe makes this trade-off come at too low of a cost, as one Arkham's Astrolabe can often mean excellent mana for the rest of the game without costing a card. In addition, Arkham's Astrolabe leads to synergies by virtue of being a cheap artifact permanent and can be blanked or recurred for card advantage. In short, Arkham's Astrolabe adds too much to these decks for too little cost, resulting in win rates that are unhealthy and unsustainable for the metagame. Therefore, Arkham's Astrolabe is banned in Modern. As an addendum, we are keeping an eye on Arkham's Astrolabe and Legacy for similar reasons, although at present, the play rates and win rates of Arkham's Astrolabe decks don't warrant action. We're aware of concerns among the Legacy community on this point, but want to be consistent with our philosophy of only resorting to bans when a card or deck reaches problematic win rates that can't be solved by natural metagame forces. Basically, the snow decks were too good. Now, to Pioneer, since we cover Pioneer on this channel, not quite as much. Since the launch of Pioneer late last year, we've seen significant changes in the metagame. Early on, Pioneer's launch window, various green ramp decks were among the most popular and successful archetypes. In order to reduce this consistency, Oath of Nissa was added to the ban list. Since that time, cards used by the green ramp list, including Once Upon a Time, Veil of Summer, and Oko, were all banned. In addition to these, releases of new sets have added power to other archetypes and generally expanded possibilities of deck building. The metagame is now in a place where we feel the unbanning of Oath of Nissa is a reasonable step, take as far as adding some power back to Nykthos, Shrine of Nyx ramp decks, and other archetypes that revolved around key cards or lands. They also forgot to talk about the banning of Felidar Guardian, which was also another reason Oath of Nissa was banned. This is the paragraph that's going to tick off some Pioneer players, or what Pioneer players are actually left. We are otherwise generally happy with the shape of the metagame in Pioneer, while the most played decks each having strengths and weaknesses against each other. We are keeping an eye on the populations of combo decks in the environment, although the perception that combo decks have dominant win rates is not backed by Magic Online play data. We are also seeing a variety of lesser played decks having a success, which indicates the metagame may continue to shift. In other words, Inverter and Breach ain't broke. They ain't gonna fix it. So, as far as the formats, Modern goes, I think taking a slight hands-off approach is good for the format. Only banning Astrolabe and seeing what happens. You know, they can always ban Uro or Mystic Sanctuary should the decks continue to be too dominant. Pioneer, I think Pioneer is currently a train wreck, and I think they're just going to continue to let the train wreck go down the tracks. Could Oath of Nissa help these ramp decks come back and fight the discard and Inverter and such? Maybe. I still think Inverter had to go. Got to admit, not terribly excited about the Pioneer news. Modern news, kind of the minimum that was expected. Hopefully Space Marine doesn't go jump off the I'm playing Magic bandwagon, but, you know, Astrolabe had to go. That's, at the end of the day, that was the card that was causing the decks to be too consistent, to be too clean. You know, being able to have a land base of completely all islands and still cast your Cryptic Command into Scape Shift kind of draws, or, you know, Cryptic Command, Archmage's Charm, and still being able to Lightning Helix your opponent. You know, not that I'm bitter about that Lightning Helix thing or anything. For those of you that don't know, here on the channel I play a lot of red decks. There was a game situation where I was playing against a deck that had the Temur Triumph, 3 islands, and an Arkham's Astrolabe in play, and I got Lightning Helix. And I'm just like, that was my breaking point, that I'm just like, Helix has to go. You should be taking a little more damage for that Lightning Helix. You shouldn't just be able to take, like, 2 damage off your fetch lands total to cast Cryptic Command and Lightning Helix off the same lands. It's like, okay. So, anywho, quick ban and restricted update. I do think Astrolabe is the right thing for Modern. Oath of Nissa, it's nice to see that card on ban, don't get me wrong, but Inverter should have gone. Anywho, that's the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, especially if you like Modern content with a Lightning Bolt based variety mainly, and if you like a little bit of Pioneer content here now and again. So, that's been John for MTG Nexus.